what it is, what it ain't. It's your girl Ombre Alert. I am back with another video, and I just first want to say thank you to everyone that watched my last video, because it is one of the first videos that reached maybe 60 something views right now. So I just want to say thank you. If you haven't had a chance to go watch my last video, you can just scroll down to the description. I'll leave it right there so you guys can just click it, watch it, do what it do, okay? If you don't know who I am, my name is Ombre Sharday Ellison. I am 25 years old and I'm from Washington, D.C. On this channel, I will be talking about culture appropriation. I will be talking about society issues. I will be talking about plastic surgery. I will be talking some mo, okay? I am black, I am fine, and I'm here to represent for my culture, my black community. You know what I'm saying? If that intimidates you, if you're not feeling that, you can just go ahead and watch somebody else's channel, okay? Because I'm black and I'm proud and I'm doing this for my people. With that being said, I wanted to make a part 2 to the last video that I did, because something that I said in the video was incorrect, and that was that there were no black models in the show, and that wasn't true. In the article that I read, it wasn't really many pictures of any black artists, any black models, so I wasn't sure if there was or was not. They were just focused on the white models with the horrible wigs on. If you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, then I'm going to put the brand name down here for you. This brand, did a fashion show and used culture appropriation in said fashion show. They were putting white models in the show. They had these horrible lace front wigs on to appropriate black culture. And the cap in that was that the hairstylist was saying that there was some sort of Egyptian inspiration. If that's the case, then why have white models? Why have them wearing any kind of cornrows? I don't understand that. Okay, so I'm just going to read the apology, and then we're going to read some of the statements made in the comments underneath the apology picture. So the apology says, and I'll put it up here on the screen. The apology says, "Dear all, my inspiration for the Comme des Garçons show was Egyptian prints, a look I found truly beautiful and inspirational, a look that was an homage," that's what it is. "Never was it my intention to hurt or offend anyone ever. If I did, I deeply apologize," and signed his name, okay? So what I want to really say first about this apology is that it's whack. When you apologize to a person, you don't have to say "I apologize" in the apology. And then one thing that you never want to say is "if I offended someone," because you're making the apology because you did offend someone. You did offend a lot of people. You did offend the community. So I feel like you can't negate from the fact that you offended people and it hurt people. You know what I'm saying? What you did hurt people, so you have to acknowledge that. There was no acknowledging of the hurt and the offense, and that's not how you apologize to a person when you commit cultural appropriation. He also said that he was inspired by the Egyptian prints. We all know that Egypt is in Africa. There was maybe 3 or 4 models in this show, and I'll put pictures up on either side. And people were saying that in the comments as if that makes a difference, or that justifies the white models being there. And I really think that that has nothing to do with the culture appropriation aspect of the show. It still was culture appropriation going on. Even if there is black models, a sprinkle of black models in the show, it doesn't stop the fact that there is cultural appropriation with the cornrowed lace-fronted wigs on top of the white people's head. That's cultural appropriation. If I, myself as a black woman, if I dress in full Asian attire and I don't have any Asian person's help, I don't have any Asian person's okay on it, and I'm just doing it for no reason. That's cultural appropriation. That's rude. That's offensive. So, anywho, in this apology, I don't think that it was good at all. They also say that it's a look that's paying homage, and I don't agree with that at all. They said that it was never their intent. I don't like when people say it's never their intent, because this idea had to go by several people, including the designer of the brand, and everyone gave their okay on it. You know what I'm saying? So this is just from the hairstylist. This isn't even from the brand itself apologizing for the whole thing. Because as loud and as vivacious as the clothes were, the hairstyle was the main talk of the town. You know what I'm saying? It was the main distraction to the clothes. People come to Paris Fashion Week to see the clothes, not to see the hair. So the fact that you made something very distracting from the clothes, it was a huge failure on the hairstylist's part, but more so on the fashion brand itself. I did my research. In the article that I linked in my last video, they said that since 1996, this brand, putting it down below, has only used maybe a handful, maybe like 4 or 5 black models since 1996 or 1994. So that's 24 years of no diversity in this brand. So backing up my point, just because there are a few models that are black or African descent, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that there's no culture appropriation going on. I think that they probably put them in the show to you know, answer those type of questions, to be like, oh no, it's not, I'm diverse. You know what I'm saying? In 2018, they actually were accused of not being diverse, a diverse brand. So I think that they were trying to, you know, ease these models in there as an excuse, and to me, it didn't work. It didn't get past me. You can't pass go if this is Monopoly. I am the type of person where I like to read in between the lines and see the BS, and I see a lot of BS in that apology. A couple of comments that I thought were interesting underneath the picture were, and I will put it up here while I'm reading. Comment number 1 said, looks appropriate on the handsome dark-skinned model, a joke on the others, next to and behind. It never looks right, but stupidity, ridiculous braids, cornrows, twists, bantu knots, afro puffs, afros, slicked baby hairs, repeat, are black cultural related. If you don't know that twists, that braids, that cornrows are black, you know, culture hairstyles, then I feel like you need to get educated. I feel like you need some goddamn help. And you need to just go do some research right now, because shouldn't nobody have to tell you that at this point. You know what I'm saying? When you see Rihanna step out in some cornrows, she's a black woman and she's wearing her protective style. That's the way you do it. If you're white, that's just, it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? Specifically, because white people have this boldness in them. They think that they can do that, and that it's just a hairstyle. It's not just a hairstyle to us. It's our way of life. It's our way of being. Okay? Just to drop some flavor and just to drop some history on you, all the cornrow designs, you know, back in slavery times, slaves did their hair in different types of cornrow designs so that they would know which direction to go in when they escaped slavery. Now, if that ain't protective, I don't know what is, okay? So do your research. You can't comment on black issues if you don't know your research. The second comment says, in the future, to avoid facing this heat again when taking inspiration from a culture that is not yours, please work closely with one from said culture that guides you in doing it properly. Point blank, period. There should have been someone black to tell you, hey, wait a minute, maybe we're going in the wrong direction. Maybe this clashes with the clothes. Maybe this has nothing to do with that, you know? Because there were black models, and the African model, his wig was secured properly. And the other guys, they had their natural dreads. So I don't understand why the white people couldn't have just had their regular natural hair. I think that would have actually made people pay attention to the clothes more than the hair. I think the hair was so disrespectful, such a disrespectful move, that it was distracting to the clothes itself. And that's why you're here, to showcase your clothes. Ain't nobody looking at the clothes, you know what I'm saying? So, continuing on with this same comment, it says, your intentions might not have been to culturally appropriate Egyptian culture. However, your lack of care and awareness in executing it is extremely reckless, and hence why it is deemed as cultural appropriation. Education alone avoids these situations, so learn from this and keep it pushing. I'm smiling because this is exactly what I'm talking about. If you are not educated on black issues, if you are not educated on black culture, then if you do that, it can avoid a lot of backlash. It can avoid a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? I live in Washington, D.C., like I said, and I have seen people get jumped, you know, for saying the N-word that are white. I have seen people get robbed because they're, you know, culturally appropriating in a predominantly black neighborhood. And I don't think that it's right to hurt someone, but when you're just doing some shit like that and you don't find anything wrong with it, and you go around a bunch of people that are pro-black and against that type of issue, something might happen to you, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want that to happen. You don't want to go around nobody's neighborhood and offend them. And in DC specifically, there's a lot of gentrification going on, you know what I'm saying? A lot of our neighborhoods are being knocked down, and a lot of white people are moving in and taking over. So we do feel very pro-black here. We do feel, you know, that white people are taking over where we live, where we grew up, our style, our flavor. This is Chocolate City, you know what I'm saying? And I'm specifically talking about Washington, D.C., because that's where I'm from, okay? So I just feel like people just need to get educated on the issues, on the black culture, before they even say something, you know what I'm saying? And when you apologize, show that you understand what the problem is. What he should have said, the stylist, what he should have said in the apology was that I understand that the hairstyle was offensive. You know what I'm saying? Acknowledge the offense. Don't say if I offended anybody, because you did offend someone. You know what I'm saying? So you have to acknowledge and show that you're smart and that you've learned your lesson from this situation. Because a lot of people have brand loyalty to people that realize the problems that they're doing, you know? I don't like to stick to a brand that shows that they're uneducated and shows that they're clueless about anything. So I feel like this is a lesson that the fashion industry needs to learn. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, you gotta bite the bullet. You gotta take the L, because you crossed the line. And if you don't understand that, then you need to get educated on such issues. And back to my point about the models, you know what I'm saying? Some people do things just for the money. I personally would have not walked in the show, whether my hair was secured or not, because I don't want to walk. I don't want to be that close to cultural appropriation. I can't do that. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much money is attached to it. I feel like my respect and my dignity means more than me doing that. Me walking right past it and not saying anything about it. Especially knowing my black history and knowing how many black women and black men have been silenced and have had their ideas stolen by white people, have had their culture and their style stolen by white people, and didn't have the chance to say anything or stand up for themselves. I am not going to allow that to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm sticking up for me, and I'm sticking up for all my ancestors that wanted to stick up for themselves, but they couldn't because of society. So with that being said, I need y'all to leave me a comment, you know, below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.